Welcome to Story Planet, where the snowflakes twirl and the winter air is filled with wonder. Step into a world of frosted beauty, where every snowflake holds a secret, and the chill of the season invites you to explore its magic. Cozy up, let your imagination drift, and remember, every tale is a journey. Here, adventure awaits in every flurry, and the warmth of stories will guide you through the wintry wonderland. Enjoy the journey and let the magic of snow and storytelling carry you away. The Snowflake's Journey. It was a quiet winter night, and the sky above the world was a blanket of soft, shimmering clouds. High up in the clouds, where the cold winds whispered and danced, a tiny snowflake was born. It was delicate, with perfect crystalline arms that sparkled like the stars. But as beautiful as it was, the snowflake felt uncertain. It looked around at the endless sky and the countless other snowflakes drifting around it, wondering, what is my purpose? As the wind began to carry the snowflakes gently toward the earth, the little snowflake trembled with nervousness. Where will I go? It whispered to the others. What will I become? The snowflakes around it simply laughed and twirled in the air. We go where the wind takes us, one said. Some of us will fall on rooftops, some will land in fields, and others might melt before they even touch the ground. That is the way of things. But the little snowflake wasn't satisfied with that answer. It wanted to know its place in the world, to understand its reason for falling from the sky. So, as it floated down toward the earth, it listened carefully to everything around it, hoping to find its purpose along the way. The snowflake drifted through a vast, silent forest, where tall trees reached up to the sky. The wind slowed as it passed through the branches, and the snowflake heard the quiet whisper of the trees. Why are you falling, little snowflake? The trees seemed to ask. I don't know, the snowflake replied. Do you know where I'm supposed to go? The trees rustled gently, their branches swaying. We do not know, but we can tell you this. Everything that falls from the sky nourishes the earth below. Perhaps you are meant to help the forest grow. The snowflake pondered this as it continued on its journey, twirling and spinning in the air. As it passed through the trees, it noticed how the branches, though bare and cold in the winter, still stood tall and firm, patiently waiting for spring. The snowflake admired their resilience, thinking, maybe I'll land on a tree and help it bloom when winter passes. But still, it wasn't sure. Could something so small really help a forest grow? The wind carried the snowflake over a wide, sparkling river next. The water below flowed peacefully, reflecting the moonlight. As the snowflake floated above, it could hear the river's soft voice like a lullaby. Why do you fall, little snowflake? The river murmured. Where are you going? I don't know, the snowflake answered. The trees said I might help the forest grow. What do you think? The river bubbled softly in response. Ah, but snowflakes like you help me too. When you fall in winter, You become part of the water that flows in spring, bringing life to all the land. This gave the snowflake something new to think about. Perhaps it wasn't just about where it landed, but what it would become. As it floated over the river, it imagined joining the water's journey, traveling through valleys and meadows, helping flowers bloom and crops grow. The river's steady flow seemed to promise a future far beyond the snowflake's brief life in the air. "Will I become part of you when I melt?" the snowflake asked softly. The river chuckled gently. "You might, little one, but wherever you go, remember every drop of water, every snowflake has its place in the world." The snowflake felt comforted by the river's words, but still it wondered, what if I melt before I reach the river? What if I land somewhere else? Will I still have a purpose? Onward, the snowflake went, drifting gently toward the ground. It passed over fields where the earth was asleep under a blanket of frost, and over villages where lights twinkled warmly from windows. Everywhere it went, the snowflake saw people and animals cozying up, waiting for the winter to pass. In the fields below, the snowflake noticed something else: tiny seeds buried deep beneath the frozen soil, waiting patiently for spring. "Are you waiting for me too?" the snowflake whispered to the seeds. The seeds did not reply, but the snowflake knew that they, like the trees, needed water from the snow to help them grow when the warmth returned. Perhaps, it thought, it would land here and give the seeds the nourishment they needed to break free from the earth when springtime came. But still, the snowflake wasn't quite sure. Could I really be that important? Finally, the snowflake reached a quiet hilltop where a little girl sat bundled in her scarf and mittens, staring up at the sky in wonder. She had come out to watch the snowfall, hoping to catch a snowflake on her hand. The snowflake, caught by a soft gust of wind, floated toward her and landed gently on her mitten. For a moment, the snowflake sparkled in the moonlight, delicate and perfect. The little girl's eyes widened in delight. "Look at you," she whispered. "You've traveled so far just to land here. You're so small, but so beautiful." The snowflake felt a warmth in the girl's words, even though it knew it would soon melt away. But as it began to disappear into a tiny droplet, the snowflake realized something important. It didn't matter where it landed, or even what it became. The journey itself had been enough. It had danced through the sky, listened to the wisdom of the trees and the river, and now it had brought a moment of wonder to this little girl on a quiet winter night. And that, the snowflake knew, was its purpose: to be part of the world's quiet magic, even if only for a moment. As the snowflake melted and became a part of the earth below, it was at peace. For it understood now that even the smallest things, like a single snowflake, have a role to play in the beauty of the world. The little girl watched as the snowflake disappeared, feeling its coolness on her mitten. She looked up at the sky, where countless more snowflakes were falling, and smiled. Each one had a journey of its own, and each one was a tiny, perfect miracle. And just like the snowflake, we too might find ourselves questioning our purpose in life, wondering where we are headed or if we truly matter. But the truth is, much like the snowflake, we are all part of something greater. Each of us has our own unique path, our own journey that touches the world in ways we may not always see. It's not about where we end up, but about the moments of joy, kindness, and love we share along the way. Sometimes it's important to take life a little lighter, just as the snowflake dances freely through the air. Trust that you're being gently carried where you need to be, and let yourself move forward with ease, knowing that everything is woven together in its own time. So as you rest tonight, remember that your life, like the snowflakes, is filled with quiet magic. You are here for a reason, and every step you take holds meaning. Start a lovely, fresh life tomorrow, with a light heart and trust in the journey. Thank you for visiting Story Planet. If you could feel the chill of winter and the delicate snowflake melting on your hand, we hope the magic of the stories warmed your heart. If you enjoyed your journey here, consider sharing it with your family and friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected with more cozy tales. Good night and sweet dreams. May your night be as peaceful as a snowfall,